Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Tess. I already filmed an intro. However, I did want to address this. I am filming in my restroom, so the background is very boring, but I'm gonna do a setup in my room. So for the next time I film a chit chat, get ready with me. You guys can have a better background. But anyways, without further ado, enjoy the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Tess. And I'm barefaced. I mean, I'm always barefaced. Well, not always, but my everyday life, I definitely be barefaced. But YouTube, we're gonna do a chit chat. Get ready with me today. I tried to film this the other day and it did not work out for me. So we're gonna give this another try. I feel like you guys are always asking me to talk more. So I figured I would do this. I honestly don't feel like wearing that much makeup. So it's gonna be very... We'll see where the wind takes us, but yeah. Also, does it bother you guys that I have no intro? Let me know if it bothers you guys, because I could definitely make one if it bothers you guys. I just come as I am, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be talking about being alone and the fact that I'm pretty much always alone. Every time I'm on TikTok, people are always asking me like, how are you comfortable being alone? How did you start? Were you always somebody that liked to be by themselves? I feel a little bit shy because I don't know, this is just different for me. Nevertheless, we're gonna do it. And this is not a makeup tutorial, not that I should be giving one anyways, but just to emphasize that. I'll definitely tag my OG like I always do. I haven't always been somebody that enjoyed being alone. Actually, as a kid, I hated being alone. I'm the youngest out of my siblings. And you know, I would bother my sister, my friends in my neighborhood. I was not a kid that enjoyed being back by themselves at all. I feel like that kind of changed for me once I got into high school. I wasn't purposefully isolating myself, but subconsciously I would get in these habits of spending a lot of time with my friends, which in high school I probably had I had one best friend consistently throughout high school, but I made a couple of friends throughout high school, maybe like 3 girlfriends, essentially catering to them, which is why I would resort to isolating myself after I spent too much time catering to other people. The friendships that I would build, I would come up and feel like, let me help them achieve something, like let me be of value to this friendship. I would do that for weeks on end, was just focusing on my friend and kind of like going with my friend just because I felt like I didn't have anything else to offer. I would get tired of showing up as that, and you know, as a kid I used to think that it was my friends doing it to me, and you know, there is a level of people taking advantage of that, whether it's subconsciously or consciously, but I was doing it to myself. I digress. I would do this for weeks on end, and then I would go ghost for months. I would find myself in this cycle of hanging out with my friend every day, talking to my friend every day, and then not talking to them for a long time. And during this long time, I would almost have some type of like resentment, not only to my friend, but building like almost like towards myself as well. People that I was choosing would get used to me being this way and didn't know how else to approach me. Like they didn't know me as anybody else but that person. I would say this started like around sophomore year of high school. I would sit in front of the mirror and be sad. By this point, I had already been into self-development and like self-help and not so much into psychology, but I was taking more of like a spiritual way of like addressing my personality, my habits. I was just trying to understand myself better. I would sit in front of the mirror and talk to myself, talk to God. Why do I do this? Like, why can't I have regular relationships? Like, what do I have to do to become a better person? At that time, I didn't realize, in retrospective, it's easy for me to like pinpoint. This is when you started to do the inner work. You know what I'm saying? The inner work. I was heavy on doing inner work from the age of 15 until the age of 17. And then at the age of like 17 for about 6 months, I got tired of it. I was like, bro, I'm 17 years old. I feel like all I do is constantly look within myself to become a better person and grow. I want to have fun. I want to be a teenager. I had like this little boyfriend, I don't know what you want to call it. You know, I just took a break from working on myself because I felt like I was missing out on life. I just started experiencing, which I wouldn't even say is diverting from working on myself. I just didn't know how to experience while simultaneously work on myself. I would literally either only be social or working on myself. Like I could never be social while simultaneously being true to myself and how I look at life. Kind of backing up here. By the age of 13, I feel like, is when I started experiencing the world on my own because of family dynamics, just different situations that I was dealing with that weren't the norm. So I had like a heavy sense of independence and individualism that I kind of still deal with, honestly, if I have to be honest. To give a little bit of a background. So come 17, I graduate high school and, you know, it's time for me to go to college. At this point, I was already financially helping my parents. I felt financially responsible to keep up what I had been doing. A big portion of it was me wanting to help my parents. Looking back, I can honestly admit that a lot of it was a sense of pride. So I was feeding my ego. Like, you know, I do this for my mom and I do that for my dad. I did that for years. I did that up until I was like 21, like literally 2 years ago. I was moving like that. I was moving like that up until 2023 for real. And that didn't really leave me room for making new friends. I had my best friend at that time that I had known since pretty much I had moved to the US. She had introduced me to her own friend. I had my cousin and my sisters. At that time, it was a weird dynamic because even if we weren't really me feeling some type of way because of these dynamics that I've explained to you guys, I would still go around. I'm gonna go see my little cousins. I'm gonna go see my auntie. I'm bringing my mom with me. Let me do my eyes real quick. The Ilia mascara and the OG mascara is what I use. Okay, guys, I'm back. So I completely did my eyes. I just mascara my clusters that I add on the ends, bottom mascara. Y'all know the usual. Set my face. Let's line my lips and do pink in the middle. Also, yes, I'm definitely in my bathroom with no vanity, just sitting on my stool. And I was just gonna be straight yapping. My best friend at that time, she introduced me to her friend. The girls, family, I knew them. But her and I actually ended up becoming really close. And we're close for like a year. And then I end up just finding out stuff. The circumstances of us becoming close was because of a situation that I felt like I could be useful to her. My best friend at that time has shared her struggles. And I was like, you know what? Let me reach out to her. I feel like I have a way to fix this. So I reached out to her. I tell her like my fix to her situation, and she comes clean to me about some scenario between her and like a man. And I'm like, at that point, the way she told me the story, I was kind of like, girl, like, I don't care. And I was like, but he's weird for like not letting me know though. But with her, I wasn't mad because it just wasn't even nothing to be mad at, the way she like explained it to me. This year of us like really being friends, that was really my friend for real. I loved her. I still love her, but from afar. Her people ended up reaching out to me, which her people actually was my people. Like, it was like weird, but basically I come into some information, and then her and I was also have weird situation within the friendship, which honestly could have been fixed, but my people / her people come to me, tell me the real of the situation. I'm completely turned off out of the friendship. So at this point, I'm like, my guard is up. I only let you in because you're my best friend's friend. That's the only reason why we're friends, is because you were her friend and I trust her judgment. So at this point, I'm like, no, hell no. I'm not gonna lie, like things were happening to her that were messed up. So I was like trying to be there for her, but I can also admit that it wasn't in the best way because I still was feeling some type of way about what I had found out. So I was trying to be there for her. You know, I tried to help where I could, but I didn't feel the need to tell her that I had found out. My feelings was hurt, you know, my feelings was hurt. My guard was already up for my own personal life. This situation completely turned me off to the idea of becoming friends with people. To be quite vulnerable and honest, I actually had reached out to my best friend to tell her kind of about the situation. I feel like I told her, and I feel like I didn't really get the response that I was looking for. I dealt with that and I kind of like moved on for that, but in that moment, that's kind of how I was feeling. So at this point, I'm by myself. You feel me? My sisters are older than me. They have their own friends. So, you know, I can only bother them so much. I'm like starting to recognize patterns of me being cruel to myself. The ways in which I speak to myself, the ways in which I care for myself. I'm like devastated because I can't be productive. Allow myself the space to cry about something and then be like, okay, cool, I'm good, I'm strong, let's go. I started this habit of sitting in front of the mirror and talking to myself when I was about 15 years old. I would sit in front of the mirror and tell myself like straight up, like, this is what you're doing and you have to be honest with yourself. So that habit became so second nature to me that I no longer needed to sit in front of the mirror. Like that was my everyday life. So when I started noticing, you know, and I read different books like The Call of the Wild, great book. And honestly, The Call of the Wild and Taking Charge of Your Emotional Life. Those are two books that I truly recommend. Everything else was just interest in psychology. I'm going through like a literal mental breakthrough trying to figure out how can I fix this? How can I fix what has become second nature to me? How can I fix this people pleasing shit? How can I fix this like constant need to be useful to people? Like why do I feel the need to be useful, and if I don't feel useful then I just won't show up? The terrible level of imposter syndrome I deal with and I dealt with and I'm working on still constantly. Never pretty enough, never smart enough. Sometimes I felt like I was too much. I didn't want to speak too much because I didn't want to come off like I was a know-it-all. I would dim my light. Like I don't want to dress up too cute or show up too cute. I don't want to come off as like I'm looking for praise. Bro, I was reading Plato, love philosophy. That's like something that I'm in love with. But yeah, like I was like reading The Prince, reading The Republic by Plato, trying to find reason. My outlook on life is God is not doing it to you, you're doing it to yourself. It's choices, period. You know what I'm saying? And yes, a lot of these things are unfair because you were a blank piece of paper as a child and you were adapting ideals and habits from the environment around you. But it still doesn't change the fact that God did not do it to you. I don't think God punishes you. I think you do it to yourself. I was trying to dive deep into that. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to just be like, well, you know, like, it's just, you know, God needed to teach me a lesson. So did you learn? Just was doing the work, man. And I was by myself all day, every day, waking up, listening to my own thoughts. My mind never stops running. I always have a thought. I would internalize every thought that I had, not realizing that thoughts come and pass. You know what I'm saying? Every thought that you have is not yours to keep. I was learning to let go of those thoughts. You have to spend more time by yourself, because if you spend more time with other people, all you're doing is submerging yourself in their opinions and their thoughts. And so I would remove that and I would just be by myself and I would sit alone and think, what's my outlook on this? Okay, why do I have this outlook? Understanding the fact that you never have it right, you'll never have it right. It's just an experience. I needed to spend time alone based on my understanding that all of these ideals, interests were given to me and I had not picked them. Everything is by chance, right? Even the things that you feel like are yours and they're personal, they're only there by chance. But I still want it to be original to me though, you know? Even if the influences are there, I want them to be detached. I've actually made a video about that on TikTok, that the want to be original to my most original self, my childlike brain, my childlike experience, and my childlike interests. Anyways, my point is that I don't want to follow anybody's hobbies, interests, like political views, anything. I don't want to be like you, and I also don't want you to then conform to my passions and my hobbies and my ideas. And obviously, I know that my characteristics are influenced by my surroundings and the people that I keep around me, but I like for those influences to be distant as possible, and more indirect. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like you. I want to be myself, and I want you to be yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like, I want you to grow in the world the way you want to grow, and I want to grow in the world the way I want to grow. I could go on about the resentment that I feel like it builds on both sides, and exiting those stages, as well as being okay while being in them for the sake of like growing the friendship. Because I feel like when you first become friends with somebody, like, you might spend a lot of time with them. Or also, like I said, I'm 22 and my opinion might change, you know, mine it might not. But yeah, right now that's where I'm at. This is when I learned that it matters. When you shower and how you apply your lotion on your body, it matters. When you do your skincare, what you say about the dark spots, and what you say about your nose, and what you say about your eyes and your eyebrows, how you feel about your hair, it matters. So I stopped being mean to myself. Now I'm at a point where I love being by myself, because I learned to be kind to myself. I learned to be gentle with myself, and that always translates to you being kind and gentle to other people. You only speak onto others in the ways in which you speak about yourself, onto yourself. You only treat others in the ways in which you treat yourself, whether you realize it or not. So when you're sitting up talking ish about Susie and what she got going on with Ken, you're doing that to yourself in your relationship. That's why you're nitpicking other people, because you nitpick yourself. I was dealing with that judging thing, boy. I was dealing with that bad. And it was subconscious, just passing judgment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be like that. And then I realized it clicked. Like, you be judging yourself like that. And that's why you're alone all the time, but you're somehow, some way just trying to escape it constantly. So now, instead of feeling like me being alone is something that I was cursed with, that I have to sit with myself and sit in my thoughts and sit in my psychoanalysis that I'm constantly dealing with, I look at it as a gift. And I thank God for it. And I thank God for my brain, and I thank God for my experiences, and I thank God for the constant need to evolve. I think that life goes through by seasons, and sometimes there are seasons of basking and enjoying, and the season might be a week. Enjoying your family and your friends' presence. And sometimes, you know, for me, dealing with self and constantly painting on my canvas, so then I can go out in the world and show you guys my new canvas, my personality, my sense of humor, my understanding for people. There's no such thing as self-made, you know, in my opinion. The people around you, the influences around you, that's what makes you. But it's what you decide to do with those external factors. Learning to be kind to yourself and loving yourself is a journey. And I've been taking it one step at a time. I clearly did not get here overnight. But if you never start, you'll never get there, you know, and it's never too late. And then the older you get, the quicker you get, because you get smarter. So I wish everybody get on their journey of self-acceptance. Like I said, this is just off the dome. I just felt it in my heart to talk about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got to know me a little bit more, like me a little bit more, and feel more connected. You feel me? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will continue to come through with more yapping videos. I'll get better at it. I'll get more focused and maybe more specific next time. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, have a great week.